Hi, everyone. This is Dana with Boutique NYC. Thank you so much for joining us for another beauty class. We're so happy that you guys have all been enjoying these, and hopefully you're learning something too. So today our theme is all about blending. A lot of you said that you'd really be interested to learn a little bit more about blending because I know a lot of tutorials can kind of speed through, but blending is one of the most important parts of doing your makeup. So today for each step, we're really going to talk through the blending of each step and how you can get a seamless, flawless finish for your makeup. So we're going to jump right in today. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave them below, drop a comment, and I will answer your questions as we go and also at the end. So jumping right in, the first thing we're going to do today, usually I would go in with foundation first or primer if I'm doing primer, but today I'm actually going to start with concealer because as you can see, I have a few blemishes that I want to cover up underneath my foundation, and I'm going to be using a little bit of a lighter foundation today, so that's why I'm going to conceal first. So I'm going to be using a pot concealer today. Normally I would use a liquid, but for this method, I really prefer a concealer in a jar. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is really popular. And what I'm actually going to do, I actually learned this trick on TikTok, believe it or not. Let me know if you've seen this trend on TikTok, but I'm going to cover up my blemishes with this concealer and let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to go in with more of the lighter coverage foundation. So I'm going to start with this concealer, and I'm going to take a brush like this. This is a kind of small face brush. It's like a concealer brush or eyeshadow. Brushes are multi-purpose, guys. You can use it for whatever your heart desires, but I'm going to dip in a little bit with this brush. Hi, Sherry. Thank you guys for joining. Happy to see you guys here. Everyone who's just now joining, please drop your comments below, your questions, and I will answer them as we go. But I'm taking a little bit of this concealer, and it's going to look wild while I'm doing it, but we're going to go over it, of course, so don't worry. And I'm going for a little bit more of a natural look today, so you don't need too much, nothing too heavy. And we're going to be talking about the blending, as I said. So right now I'm kind of just dabbing it on those areas where I have redness on my blemishes. And we're going to use light patting motions to blend out the concealer in those areas. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are going over it with foundation. But you'll find that the key to blending for face products is really going to be tapping motions and not so much swiping or pulling motions. Kayla, hey girl, hey. Hi Kayla, thank you so much for tuning in. We are just doing some concealer before our foundation for all of those who are popping in right now. Thank you so much. If you're new here, thank you for joining. And we are learning all about blending today. So as you can see, the blemishes are kind of just disappearing under the concealer, and it's going to look crazy till we go over it, but that is okay. Just very light dabbing motions. And I recommend a synthetic brush for this. We have some synthetic brushes from Dome Beauty at Boutique NYC. And okay, so that's pretty much what I'm going to do in terms of covering blemishes. We'll do the under eyes after the foundation, but yeah, so light tapping motions, guys, for doing concealer. You don't want to take it and swipe it down your face like this because that's not going to keep the coverage concentrated where you want it. So it's all about light tapping motions. And of course, you can use your handy dandy fingers and you can tap and blend in your concealer that way as well. The warmth from your fingers actually helps melt the product in and blend it out. So that's another good tip for blending. But now we're going to do our foundation on top. And this foundation I talked about in our very first beauty class. This is from a brand called Be Radiance. It's a French brand that we have here at Boutique NYC. And it's called the Cucumber Water Mattifying Foundation. And I really love this because I tend to get pretty oily. So it is a soft matte finish. It's not going to make you look dry or cakey. And it is a light to medium coverage. So it's a perfect for natural days We're going to go a little bit more natural today. And we don't need super heavy coverage, especially because we just concealed our problem areas. So I'm shaking it up a little. It is water-based, so it's going to be hydrating even though it is matte. And I am going to take a little on the back of my hand. You can put this, you know, on a palette. You can put it right on your sponge. You can put it right on your face, but I'm going to do some on the back of my hand. And I'm using a damp beauty sponge. For blending, I highly recommend a damp beauty sponge. You can also use a foundation brush or whatever you want, but my favorite blending tool is a damp beauty sponge, which we carry one at Boutique. It is from Amazing Cosmetics, and it is pink, and it's amazing. So as you can see, similar to the concealer, we're using bouncing, patting motions because this is going to press the foundation into your skin, and it's going to help retain the right amount of coverage, and it's not going to swipe and move everything around. Because we don't want to move around that concealer that we just placed very precisely, of course. So, and excuse my redness here. This is a little flush rosacea that I'm having going on right now. So we're just patting. And as you can see, it gives a really nice natural finish. Again, it looks crazy because I have some redness going on in my neck right here, but it has a really pretty natural finish, and it's very lightweight, so it's not going to weigh you down during the day. This brand is made with really great non-toxic ingredients that are healthy for your skin. So if you're into clean makeup, healthy makeup, check out this brand. It's called Be Radiance. And as you can see from this side to this side, there's a huge difference. And the blending is going to be really, really important, especially when you're doing even a natural foundation, because you can still see a bit of your skin through it. So it's going to be really important to blend it out so that you don't, you know, see patches, or you just want everything to be seamless, of course. Now, a big key to blending as well is going to be to blend down your neck, because we all remember in middle school, all of us had that line right here, that orange line that gave away that you were wearing your mom's liquid foundation that you stole from her vanity. And we don't want that. We've graduated from that. We are improved. We're not doing that anymore. So always make sure you blend your foundation, whether you're blending with a brush or a sponge. Take it a little bit down your neck. And this also helps if you don't have a perfect match, which, you know, sometimes it's hard to find a perfect match, especially online. This helps blend in your foundation to your skin tone so that you don't have that crazy line. And as you can see, since we laid down the concealer first, those spots are nice and covered. Even though this is a light coverage foundation, everything is still nice and concealed and blended, of course. So, as always, I always say I could keep blending forever, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and move on. So now that my face is all evened out, I have some under eye circles that we are going to conceal, and I'm going to go ahead and use the same NARS concealer just because that's what we're using today. This is also a soft matte finish, so it's going to look really nice with the foundation, and I'm just going to use that same exact brush that we used. And I'm going to blend this a little bit under my eyes, right where that darkness is. And my shade that I chose has a little bit of yellowness to it, and that's really going to help brighten the under eye. And same as before, we're using these light tapping, patting motions to do our blending. Now you can totally blend this in just using a brush. You can use your finger. I recommend your ring finger because that's the most gentle finger and you don't want to tug on your eye area too much. or you can use your sponge, which I'll end up going over it with my sponge. But there's all different types of methods for blending, as long as you blend somehow. That's the most important thing. So you can see that's instantly lifting and brightening my under eyes. We're gonna blend it out, don't worry. And as usual, I'm gonna take a little bit up on my eyelids as well, because this is gonna act as my eyeshadow primer, which is gonna help us blend out our eyeshadow in a little bit. And hello, everybody who's just now joining. Thank you so much for being here. If you have questions, please leave a comment below. And now I'm just taking my blending sponge, same dabbing motions, blending everything out. If you haven't noticed already, blending is very important. And we're learning today how to blend like a boss. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for being here. Hi, everyone. Okay. And now instead of having those super light circles from the concealer, everything's seamless and everything kind of just looks like my skin, which is the goal, especially today, since we're doing a little bit more natural. So looking good, everything's nice and blended. I promise that's not my foundation. That's that's my actual skin. So next I'm going to set with a translucent powder. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. You can use any powder that you have. A translucent powder just doesn't have coverage to it. So it's not going to add coverage to your look. It's just going to set everything in place and make you look nice and smooth. So with that same exact damp sponge, I'm going to look up and I'm going to set right under my eyes because we don't want any creasing. And same patting motions. Now you don't need too much because this is a mattifying foundation, but I'm just going to kind of set everything in place. And now I'm going to sweep that away and continue to blend it out with a, this is a face powder. This is not translucent, so it does have a little bit of coverage, but this is the Sephora Micro Smooth. This is a really good powder, especially for the price. I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush, a big fluffy brush, and go in circular motions. Now, when you're blending out your face makeup, big circular motions for powder, not for liquid, we're doing bouncing motions. For powder, circular swirling motions are going to be your best bet for blending, especially when you're blending your makeup down your neck. These circular motions are really going to move the product around and make it blend seamlessly. So this is just my final step to get my base smooth and blended. Yes. How many times am I going to say the word blended in this video? A lot. Alrighty. So the next step is going to be our bronzer. Now, you don't have to do bronzer, but I am very ghostly white, and I like to add a little bit of dimension back to my face. We're not going to do a heavy contouring today because, like I said, it's a bit more natural. So we're just going to do kind of a light bronze, and I'm going to show you how I blend out my bronzer. Today I'm going to be using the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. You can get this at the drugstore. It smells so good. It smells like coconuts, like a beachy coconut vacation. It is so good. And I'm going to take another fluffy brush. So fluffy brushes are your best friend for blending. You don't want anything too stiff, too hard. For example, something like this, like a thick, stiff kabuki type brush. You're not going to want to use this to blend out your bronzer. This is going to make a big streak on your face, and it's not going to be, you know, blended out and smooth and flawless. So something fluffy, something a little bit flimsy like this, that's going to really give you the room that you need to blend everything in place and make it look natural. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my bronzer, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start at the top of my ear and blend down towards my mouth. And I'm using circular motions. Same as we did with the powder. These are just smaller, more concentrated circular motions. And I'm going to take this down towards my mouth. So it's bringing color to the face, but it's also giving a little bit of a shadow to kind of like snatch your cheeks, if you will. So small blending motions. And I also like to blend this a little bit under my jawline, on the double chin, always, and around my temple and forehead. And a trick that I mentioned in a previous video is to kind of do a 3 shape like this, because those are kind of the areas that you would want shadow. So the perimeter of your face, down your cheekbone, and your jawline. But that's just a general rule of thumb. You don't have to sit here drawing 3s on your face, but that's kind of just where the product should go. And now back to my big brush with my powder, circular motions, blending right over that again. Always blend between every step. If you're unsure if you should blend, you should, so do it. Now we're gonna do the other side. Tap it off. I had some questions last time of why I tap off the brush, and it's to get rid of the excess product so it doesn't fall down on your face or your clothes or anything like that. So when you tap, you can see the extra powder falling off. And if you didn't tap it, that might fall on your clothes or somewhere that you don't want it on your face. So that is another tip that I recommend. So I'm taking my time blending out my bronzer. Small concentrated circles. I don't really like to sit here and go like this, which is kind of, I feel like when I was learning how to do bronzer, that's what I was taught, is like do the fish face and then like go like this. That's not what I would recommend. I always recommend circular motions when you're blending powders. Same for eyeshadow, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I find circular motions is the best for getting smooth, seamless results, so you don't have any harsh lines or anything like that. And then, as always, big brush. I'm going to dip a little bit back into my face powder. And once again, just blend everything together. As you can see on camera, you can see it a little better. There's a little bit of patchiness over here. So what are we going to do? We're going to blend it. So take your powder, your big fluffy brush, and you can kind of see everything just smoothing out and melting together into one cohesive look. Kayla said, this is good to know because I do the fish face and always looks non-blended. Yes. So you can do the fish face to see where the hollows of your cheeks are, but instead of just going, you know, drawing a line in that hollow of your cheek, you really want to make sure that you're blending it out in that area. And also I like to do it a little bit higher than the hollows of my cheeks because that's what's going to lift up your cheekbones. So mine's like down here. If I drew it down here, I would look crazy. So get to know your face shape and what looks best. But I like the trick from top of the ear towards the mouth. That's what I like to do. But that's just me. So now that our bronzer is blended out, it's blush time, of course. So today I'm going to use this blush from Becca. This is one of my favorites. It is called Flower Child. It's just one of my favorite colors to wear. I always wear a blush that's like a peachy corally color, but use whatever your heart desires. If you want to wear a hot pink blush on a Tuesday to Walmart, do it. No one's stopping you. And I'm going to take a little bit of this on a blush brush. This one's very powdery, so make sure you tap it off. And blush is a little bit different than bronzers in the way that I'm going to blend it. So you can do blush right on the apples of your cheeks, but I like to do it in an upward motion to kind of lift up my cheek. So I still do little circular motions, you'll notice, but I'm keeping it in a much smaller area because I don't want blush all over my face. So smaller area, right where I would blush naturally, which is above my bronzer. And we had a question from Bing as well. Hi, Bing. I love you. Affordable brush recommendation. So we do have some brushes at Beautique. We have eye brushes that are cruelty-free from a brand called Dome Beauty. And we have a face brush from a brand called Amazing Cosmetics, which are really great. For really affordable brushes, I recommend Morphe just because they're really affordable and they have like a million different kinds. So yeah, that's what I would say. And this brush, I keep messing up blush versus brush. I can't talk. Andrea says, I love that color. Thank you, Andrea. And thank you for joining. Now on the apples of my cheeks, instead of doing all this, I'm kind of just tapping it out. We have another question. Should we use a blush / bronzer color that complements our skin tone, or do we choose a color based on the look we are going for? That's a good question. And it's a combination of both or either, really. There's no rule. It's good to have a couple blushes that complement your skin tone. So if you have like a golden or yellow undertone, a more like warm, peachy, orangey blush is going to complement your skin tone. And you can have different shades of that for different looks that you're doing. If you have more of a cool undertone, so your skin's a little more pink, you could do like more of a lavender almost. That's scary, but more of a cool tone blush. But you can wear any blush color with any skin tone. That's my belief. But you can also do it to complement the look you're doing. So if you, I don't know if you tuned in last week, but when we were doing more of like a pink berry eye, I did more of like a mauvey berry blush to match. So it's personal preference, but you can do whatever your heart desires. Thank you for the question. And if you haven't noticed, I'm just going back with the big fluffy brush. This is your best friend when you're blending your face and blending everything together. Great. So we're almost done with the face. I know I'm taking forever because we're talking about blending. So the last step for the face is highlighter. This is from ColourPop. This is called Flexitarian. And I'm going to take a synthetic brush. Notice how we're getting smaller and smaller. We started with the big fluffy brush on the whole face, a little bit smaller for bronzer, a little bit smaller for oh my God, blush, and smallest for highlighter. So the more concentrated you want the product to be, the smaller the blush. Susan said, beautiful, what is the name of that blush again? This blush is called Flower Child. It's from a brand called Becca Cosmetics and is called Flower Child. Now, if you are looking for something from Beautique, I have this one here that's very, very similar. It's like the same exact color. And it is called, what is this called? It's 01. The shade is 01. And this has a blush and a highlighter. So you can get this at Beautique NYC. It's from a brand called Be Radiance. Highly recommend. It's really good for your skin. But yeah, thank you for your question. So now I'm just taking some highlighter, same as the blush, small circular motions. I'm not doing like, like none of that. None of that. Small, concentrated circular motions. Okay. I always do a little on my nose, if you haven't noticed. And I'm not going to go too crazy on the highlighter. Number one, because I have some texture on my cheeks right now that I don't want to accentuate. And two, we're keeping it pretty neutral today. So not neutral, natural. Kayla says, how do we know what color bronzer or dark contour shade to go for? Sometimes bronzers can have an orange tone. I have a contour kit and it kind of makes my face look orange after I use it. So I know it's the wrong shade, but that's a great question, Kayla. So what I usually say is your bronzer should be, in my opinion, 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin tone. If you want to have it more dramatic, you could go, you know, 3 to 4 shades darker. And definitely for bronzing, warming up the skin, I go for something a little bit more warm toned. I don't like to say orangey, but a little bit warmer, like it has a golden undertone. And for contouring, since you're creating shadows, that should be a little more cool toned or neutral. If you don't know which one you want, go for something more neutral, which is in the middle. It's not orangey and it's not gray. It's right in the middle. That's what I would recommend. Contour kits can be good, but they're not always the best because they are trying to cover a bunch of different shades in one product, and they're not always the best for contouring. I would recommend getting a single. If you have a warm undertone, like I said, maybe go for something a little bit warmer, golden, and if you have a cool undertone, maybe something a little bit more neutral would be good. I hope that answers your question. Bing says, can you do a video on undertones and shade matching because your girl struggles with that? Of course, that's a great suggestion. So next week, we're actually doing one all about complexion. So we can talk about shades, but we can do a video on that. Yes. And Bing said, you're literally my fave. So hilarious and totally act like yourself. Bing knows me, so she knows how I am. So thank you so much, Bing. I'm glad that I'm coming off myself because that is my goal here. So I'm rambling and we're going to move on to eyebrows now. So today, since it's a little bit more natural, I'm going to be using the Amazing Brow Kit from Amazing Cosmetics, which is really great for a quick natural look, but you can also like slay a nice sharp brow if you want to. I'm going to start with just a spoolie. If you don't have a spoolie, you need to get a spoolie, girl. This is necessary for blending your eyebrow products. You can get like a huge pack of spoolies at like Walmart for like $1. Just get you a spoolie. It's basically like a mascara wand, but for your eyebrows. Now I'm going to be using the Amazing Brow Kit, which we have at Beautique. It's exclusive at Beautique. You can get these 3 products together, which is the brow powder, the brow gel, and the brush all together, all in one place. So my brow powder is 03, and it's like a taupey brown color, which is the color of my actual hair. We had a question about that in a previous event. And notice, tap, tap. Don't forget the tap. And I'm going to start. This is the boring part, so feel free to drop your questions while I'm doing my eyebrows. But yeah, we can do a more detailed video on eyebrows as well. So yeah, if you have suggestions, drop them below. Like Bing just suggested doing a video on color matching and undertones, which is a great idea. So we can do that for you, definitely. And now this part doesn't really have anything to do with blending, so I'm not going to talk your ear off about blending while I do the eyebrows. But you do want to make sure you don't put too much product on the inside of your brow. It should blend, actually. It should go darkest and fade to lightest. So after I put the product down, I'm going to use my spoolie to blend it out. Because, yes, actually, you even do have to blend your eyebrows. Blend every step of your makeup. We're going to blend everything. We're going to blend our lips. You'll see. We're blending everything today. And once you learn how to blend like a boss, it's going to change your life and it's going to change your makeup game. I promise. So I'm trying to speed through this because I could take an hour on my brows alone, but I will not make you sit through that. I mean, I could if you wanted to see that, but today we're focusing on blending. And also, if you have any questions specific to blending, drop them below. And as you can see, this is a brow powder and it's just so easy and quick To apply, I always recommend a brow powder if you're a beginner. That's how I started doing eyebrows. That's what I learned with. That's why I really like this brow kit, because it has all three things that you need for eyebrows, which is this brush, this angled brush, the powder, and the brow gel. Okay, so that's good. Now to blend it out, we're going to take the spoolie and I'm going to brush in upward motions. You always want to brush your brow hairs up, not down, because if you brush it down, girl, what? Don't do that. Now I'm blending out. This is the part you want to blend, which is the inside here, so that it kind of fades in and looks more natural. So I'm really blending this front portion out right here. And then the rest, I'm just going to brush through. I don't want to blend the tail too much or else it's going to look wild. Same thing on the other side. Okay. And that's pretty much all we need to do for blending on the brows. I'm just going to set them in place with the Amazing Cosmetics brow gel. I love using a brow gel. It's like glue for your eyebrows. Do not sleep on this step. Don't do it. Brow gel changed my life. It really did. I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but before I knew about brow gel, I would use hairspray on my eyebrows, which, you know, it worked, but now we know that brow gel exists. So get you a brow gel. Okay? Brows are good. Now let's get to the more fun, interesting part, which is the eyeshadow. I've gotten a lot of questions about blending eyeshadow, especially when I worked at Sephora. People always wanted to learn how to blend their eyeshadow, and that's what we're going to do today. We have another question. Does the brow gel come off easily with regular makeup remover? Yes, it comes off really easily, probably not even with makeup remover. Like, it's not like super glue, like it's not going to stay there. If you don't want it there, it's really easy to remove. That's a good question. But yes, normal makeup remover will take off your brow makeup, definitely. Good question. So for eyeshadow, we're going to do an all matte look today. I actually got a request to do an all matte look. And just in case you don't know, matte just means there's no shimmer or no shine, as opposed to like a shimmery eyeshadow, which is going to have some sparkle, some glow. This is all matte. Matte looks are really good for mature skin, or if you have creasy or wrinkly eyelids, which there's no shame, but matte is going to be good for you because a lot of the times shimmers can accentuate texture. So you can wear shimmers. In fact, I encourage you to, but if you're, you know, a little bit hesitant to wear eyeshadow looks, I recommend starting with a nice neutral matte palette. This one is from Tarte. This is called the Tartelette. It is all matte and it's really pretty because it has like a neutral row, this like purpley row, and then more neutrals. So that's what we're going to use today. And I'm going to talk you through the steps of how I blend out my eyeshadow to get a really soft, smoky look. So if you are going to be doing eyeshadow, you need a blending brush. You need it. There's no getting around it. Do not let me see you using those sponge applicators. I will come for you. Don't do it. Throw them away. Get them out of here and get a brush for real. You won't regret it. This is a fluffy blending brush. I don't even know the brand. I've had this for a million years. Get a fluffy blending brush, something that has a little bit of give to it. Nothing too stiff or else you're not going to be able to blend it out. This is your best friend in the whole wide world. I promise. This is my best friend. So the first thing we're going to do is called our transition shade. And what that means is this shade is going to help blend out the other eyeshadows that you put on after, because it's going to transition from your lid area to your brow bone. So it's literally a transition from your lid up to your brow. And if you watch YouTube videos from beauty gurus, you know what a transition shade is. Usually this is going to be like a mid-toned brown shade. It's going to probably be about 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin tone. So it's going to be different for everybody, but for me, it's going to be this color right here, just like a mid-tone khaki brown shade. You can also use your bronzer for this. I do that a lot. Katie says, at my age, I only do a shimmer at the very top right under my arch. Yes, that's a great place to put a shimmer under your brow bone. You can do this at any age. You can highlight right here under your brow bone. That's a great place to put a shimmer. So yes, definitely. We're going to tap off that brown, and I'm going to start at the outer corner of my eye. And just like on the rest of the face, I'm going to do small circular motions. And you're going to be amazed. The work is done for you. So I'm going to start right here in the outer corner and small circular motions. This is the key to blending. Success. Small circular motions. And since this brush is not too dense, it's not going to apply too much product and make it look really patchy or crazy. So every time you dip back in the pan, tap it off. Every time. I'm watching every single time. And small circular motions. Once you have it done on the outer corner, you can start doing swiping motions in the crease. This is what we call windshield wiper motions. Back and forth like a windshield wiper. I still like to do circles as I'm going, but when you put it in your crease, windshield wiper motions. And always go back and blend as you go. Now your transition shade does not have to look perfect because you're going to use other shades on top. If you want, you can stop here, that's fine. But always blend between each step. So circular motions, and I'm going inward, not outward, because we're blending, this is going inward. So circular motions, and then a little bit of windshield wiper motions in your crease. And that's it. So you could totally stop here. If you just want this to be your eyeshadow look, you can put like a little highlighter on the inner corner, put on some mascara, and then you're good. But I am extra, so we're going to continue, of course. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Tap your brush. I'm watching you. Tap it. And same thing over here. Circular motions going inward, because that's going to blend your eyeshadow in so it fades nicely. And windshield wiper. And hello to everybody who is popping in and out. Thank you guys for being here. Today's all about blending. So we're talking about blending your face makeup, your eyeshadow. Blending is the best skill to learn when you want to learn how to do makeup, because every single step of your makeup routine requires some type of blending. So you can do this as much as you want. I'm just doing those windshield wiper motions to blend out the edges. But that's basically it for the transition shade. And like I said, you could stop here. This just gives your eyes some nice dimension. But we're going to go more dramatic, of course. Excuse me. So same thing as with the face. We're going to go big brush to little brush. So with the face, we started with the big fluffy brush for a big area, went a little bit smaller for the bronzer because it's a little more concentrated, went even smaller for the blush, even more concentrated, and then smallest for the highlighter, most concentrated area. Same exact thing for eyeshadow. So we start with this big fluffy blending brush. Now for the next darker color, we're actually going to use a smaller blending brush because the smaller and denser you go, the more concentrated the product is going to be. So we just used that. You can see the dust in the pan. If I didn't tap off my brush, that would have fallen on my face. Anyway, we started with this. Now I'm going to go in this deeper brown color up here to give a little bit more dimension. You can use any color you want. If you want to dip in one of these purpley shades, go for it. You can do this with whatever color scheme you want. It doesn't have to be neutrals. And I'm just gonna, same thing really, same motion, small circular motions on the outer corner, kind of flicking the product inward. And I really recommend a small blending brush for this step because it just makes your life so much easier. If you try and use a big fluffy brush for this, it's going to be a mess. And that's when a lot of people tend to get frustrated, is they're using the wrong brush or the wrong technique. So make sure you're using the right tools to get the effect you want. We have a question. Is it necessary to clean brushes before using that brush with a different color? Do you recommend a way to clean them? So you should wash your brushes pretty often. You should. Do I? I'll let you decide. But you don't have to wash your brush between colors. I usually just use honestly like a washcloth, or you can use a Kleenex, a tissue, and just kind of swirl off the brush in between and dip into a new color and use it. Or when you're doing like an all neutral look, it's okay if you have a little bit of the previous color left on there. It's totally cool. So no, you don't have to wash your brush between colors, but you should wash your brushes pretty often. You should. Do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, you should wash your brushes to prevent the spread of bacteria and things like that. But yeah, so using this brush, same thing as before. It's a pattern. I know I'm being repetitive, but it's very important. Small circular motions and then a little bit of those windshield wipers in the crease. So now you can see we've really darkened it up since the transition step. And if you have any harsh lines, so see, I have like a little bit of a patch there, a little bit of a harsh line that I'm not a fan of. So I'm going back in with the bigger one and blending that right out. There's no mistake you can't fix, really. Windshield wipers. And now we're blended. Cool. So that didn't take very long to do this eyeshadow. I know when people see bold eyeshadow, they think that probably took, I could never do that. That would take an hour. It's really quick, but if you blend, you can make your eyeshadow look professional, make people think that you went to the salon. It's easy. You could do it at home. Alex said, what is the seminar today? Oh, this talk is all about blending. So thank you for tuning in, Alex. This is blending like a boss. We're learning how to blend every step of our makeup. So we just did our eyes. Love a sit with me makeup video. Yes, we do too. Thank you for being here. Please ask your questions below. We just blended out our outer corner and transition color. Alex says, what palette are you using? We're using the Tartelette. I believe this is the original Tartelette all matte eyeshadow palette. Thank you for asking. So now that we have those two colors, I'm going to do a light color on the inside. And you can use a flat brush for this. You can use your finger. I'm going to use this flat brush, so even smaller. Big to small, people, big to small. I'm going to use this color here, this light creamy color. And this is going to go on my inner corner. And this isn't going to be super dramatic. It's just going to tie everything together and bring a little bit of light and brightness to the inner corner of the eye. Love the colors in that palette. Thank you. I do too. This is a really great just staple to have in your collection because it has like every neutral matte shade that you would need. It's a great palette for work. Very professional. Even though I would totally wear like pink glitter to work. That's what I did when I worked at Sephora. I went in there with blue glitter lipstick like every day. So, you know, looking good. Love the mattes. Tarte blends so nicely. Yes, They're Amazonian clay. They use Amazonian clay in their eyeshadows, which make them stay on a long time. And they do blend very nicely. So I just put that on the inner portion of my eye, and I'm going back in with our previous brush and kind of just dabbing right where they meet each other, and this is going to help blend them together. So I'm just dabbing right where the two meet, and you can see how much of a difference that light color made. So this is no light color. This one has the light color, and you can see it's nice and smooth and blended. Larissa, hi Larissa, thank you for joining. What are our top 3 brushes to own? That's a great question. For eyeshadow, I can't pick just overall, but if I had to pick overall, I would say a big fluffy brush for powders on your face, a blending brush for eyeshadow, a fluffy blending brush for eyeshadow, and then maybe like an angled brush so that you could do your eyebrows and eyeliner, and you can even use that on your lips. That's what I would say, just overall. So like a big fluffy brush, an eyeshadow brush, and then like an angled brush, like with a spoolie. But I would recommend way more brushes than that, but those would be my top 3. Kayla says, does Beautique do skincare routine videos too? Could that be a seminar topic, such as moisturizer or serums or eye creams or night creams? Yes, Kayla, thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, we would love to do some skincare videos. I don't know if it would be separate from our beauty classes, but we can definitely do skincare videos. We actually have some already on our website. We do weekly picks where we do weekly routines that are mainly skincare, and a lot of those have videos that go with them. So yes, if you have specific requests, let us know, and we can incorporate skincare more into our videos as well. So yes, that's a great question. Alex says, yep, 3 great basics. Yep, those are, if I had to pick 3 brushes, those are what I would pick. But if y'all could see my brush collection, it's not healthy. Now I'm gonna finally do the light color on the other side because I've been rambling for so long. Kayla says, it should be in these classes because we want you to be in the videos. Thanks, Kayla. Alex said same. Thank you guys. I'm really glad you're enjoying. We can definitely incorporate skincare, or I'm happy to do dedicated videos on skincare. Absolutely. So necessary because cleaning brushes is a chore for me. Oh my gosh, it is such a chore, Alex. It is such a chore. I hate it, but it's a necessary evil. Don't ask me the last time I cleaned these brushes, because I will lie. Sure, I did it last week. Okay, so same as the other side. I just put that light color, and now I'm using my fluffy blending brush, circular motions, and blending out the seam. And blending out the edges, of course. Now I'm going to take, what am I going to take? Y'all should see my setup right here. It is something else. I'm going to take that fluffy blending brush and I'm going to wipe it off. Somebody asked earlier if you can change your color between colors on the same brush. Yes, I'm swirling it off. And I'm going to take actually that same, I cannot put this in the camera, that same light shade, and I'm going to go right under my brow bone. You can put a shimmer here too, of course, but I'm just keeping it cohesive, and I'm using this to really blend out the edges so that it's a seamless transition from the dark brown shades up to my brow bone. Alex says, mine's a mess, girl. I bought a wall shelf for some more storage space. Yeah, I have one of those the big IKEA Alex drawer vanities. And I just bought a whole new drawer set because I ran out of space in my vanity. Well, it was a gift, actually, but I know the struggle. Okay. And I think our eyeshadow is pretty blended. And you guys could totally do this at home. Is this something you guys think you could do? Because I think you can do it. It takes some practice, but it is very easy. I promise you can do this. And this is a really great everyday look. You don't have to go this dark if you're not comfortable, but you can do it. I believe in you. Alex said, me too. I have the typical IKEA setup and still need space. Makeup junkies. Yes, same. We probably have the same vanity, honestly. So next, I'm going to be using a product from Dome Beauty. We sell this at Beautique. If you're interested in Dome Beauty, they're an all clean makeup brand, and I love them. This is the Blackout gel liner, and I'm going to use this gel liner today because I've been using liquid a lot. And guys, I have not a surprise, but I'm not using magnetic lashes today. I get so many questions about the magnetic lashes. Today we are going to do mascara, good old mascara. But yeah, you guys love the magnetic lashes, so I'm sorry to say they will not be making an appearance today, but they'll be back, of course. So I'm grabbing some of that black gel liner on an angled brush, and I'm going to do, am I going to do a wing? Yeah, we're going to do a wing. Or not a big wing, just like a little flick. And this part doesn't really involve blending, so excuse me if I'm not talking as much. Now, I used to do gel liner every single day when I was getting into makeup. Now I do more liquid, but gel is like a staple. It's a great way to learn how to do eyeliner, and it's good for a soft look too because you can really blend it out and smoke it out if you want, whereas liquid is just really harsh, which I love, don't get me wrong, but it's not for everybody. And like I said, I won't be talking through this whole eyeliner situation. But yeah, if you have questions, please continue to ask. Thank you guys so much for participating. I love answering your questions and talking to you guys every week. And while I'm doing this, I'll talk a little bit about Beautique. So by now, I'm sure most of you know about Beautique because this is on Beautique's page, but Beautique NYC is a really cool platform for indie beauty brands. So it's, you know, up and coming brands that you may not have heard of in the mainstream media. These are brands created by really awesome founders, a lot of women founders that we love to support, who've created their own brands. We pick brands for Beautique that have really powerful missions and values that we share. So if you shop anything at Beautique, a lot of thought and care went into it. You're supporting women-owned businesses, independent brands. So yeah, check it out, boutique.nyc. Shop our virtual store. It's really cool. Alex said, I don't know why I stopped using gel liner. It was a staple for me back then too. I know. I don't know. It's so funny how that happens. Like I'll stop using a foundation or something, and then like 2 years later, I'm like, why did I stop using that? Then I use it again, and I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever. So my eyes water a lot, so I'm not going all the way into the inner corner. I wish I could, but I have very sensitive eyes, so I have to be careful. And I'm not doing the best job in the world, but that's okay. And I changed my mind. I'm not going to do a wing today. I know, I'm shocked too. But yeah, so as you can see, that just made my lash line look thicker, and that's really the point of eyeliner. I'm just taking our blush brush actually and sweeping away any fallout. So The eyes are almost done. The last step is going to be our trusty mascara. This is also from Dome Beauty, and I've talked about this in almost all my videos so far. This mascara is actually derived from olives, which is really cool. It's totally natural, clean, no toxic chemicals are going in these eyes. This is totally eye safe, and it's a really good mascara too. It keeps your lashes soft, which I like. So we're gonna load on the mascara since we're not doing fake lashes, which I like always wear fake lashes. So this is a great mascara to use when you are not doing falsies and you still want volume. And yes, I got some questions last time. Yes, you can curl your lashes before mascara. Just don't be too harsh on your lashes because you don't want to break them or accidentally pull any out. I don't necessarily curl my lashes because mine kind of already stick straight up, which humbled and blessed. Thank you. But yes, you can definitely curl beforehand. And it is really hard to talk and do mascara if you've ever tried. Now I'm just starting at the root of my lashes and kind of wiggling upward because that I find that's the best way to get the most product onto your lashes. And I really like this wand too. There's so many different types of mascara wands, but this is a good one. It has softer bristles, like it's not like those rubber silicone bristles. This is more like a classic mascara wand, but a little bit softer, I would say. And I'm not like putting more and more on. I'm kind of just trying to separate my lashes and build it up how I like it. So that's one coat of mascara. We'll probably do a little bit more, of course, because we're extra. And if you have any, of course, fallout, sweep those bad boys away. We don't want them. What brand? This is Dome Beauty. This mascara is from the brand Dome Beauty. We have this at Boutique NYC. Same brand as the eyeliner. And we've used them in all our beauty classes. It's a really great clean makeup brand. And I'm just going in with a little bit of a second coat because I like bold lashes. And this mascara is great because it really doesn't clump, but it does give volume. And again, I could spend forever doing this, but I won't because we've already been here for an hour. But thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate it. Do you apply any mascara to your bottom lashes? That's a good question. You certainly can. I know most people do. I usually don't actually, just because I really like the look of like a bright, clean under eye. Like I usually don't even put eyeshadow under there, but most people do put mascara underneath. So yes, you definitely can. I will skip that today though. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop. All right, so the mascara is done. Final step, y'all, is the lips. So today I'm going to be doing just one of my classic favorite lip combos. Kayla, I know you will be familiar with this because we talked about this recently. This is like my go-to lip combo these days. I'm going to be using a lip liner from ColourPop. This is in the shade Oh Snap. And I'm going to be using the MAC lipstick in the shade Faux. And these go so well together. And this is like a Dana staple. And I'm going to just line my lips. I can't talk when I'm doing this, so sorry if I'm just sitting here. But I'm going to line my lips really quick. Kayla. OMG, is this faux? Yes, yes it is. my favorite. I am not the best at lining my lips. I'm really not. I know it. I don't not pretending to be great at lining my lips because I know. Every Kayla said, every time you say our names when reading a comment, I feel like a celebrity is giving us a shout out. Well, thank you, Kayla. Um, definitely not a celebrity, but I appreciate it. Okay, let me stop because I could do that forever. So now we're gonna do the lipstick, and there is blending involved here because you don't want to leave looking like this. You want to blend in your lipstick with your lip liner. So this is a MAC satin lipstick, so it's not going to be super matte, but it's not going to be like creamy glossy where it's going to like fall off during the day. So I'm just going to apply this lipstick, and it's just like the best like color. It's like a Your Lips but better color. That's what we call it in the business. Now to blend with the lip liner, you can do one of these, but I don't like to do that too much because I don't want to mess up the lip line that I just created. So, okay, good enough. So, yeah, I really like this lipstick because it's kind of like my natural lip color, but better, of course. So now when it comes to the blending part, I mean, this lip liner was pretty much the same color as this lipstick, so there's not too much blending needed, but I actually like to go back in with the lip liner and kind of feather it inward on the lipstick, and clean up the edges. So that's what I'm gonna do now, because there's, like I said, there's blending in every step. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm going right over the lipstick that I just put on. Kayla said, "What was that lip liner color and brand?" It's ColourPop in the shade Oh Snap. It's a good one. Okay, and I think that's good for the lips. Alex says, "Yes, lip liner, one of my favorites, definitely. Sometimes I wear it just by itself too." Yes, you can totally just wear a lip liner by itself and it'll stay on like forever. Um, yeah, that's a good tip. Thank you, Alex. Now, if your lip liner doesn't perfectly match your lipstick, which is totally fine, you can take a finger and kind of just blend it together, tap it like that, and it will kind of blend in your lip line to your lip color. I don't need to do too much of that because mine matches pretty good. Um, but yeah. Okay, very last step. We're almost done. I know we've been here for a while. Alex said so pretty. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I really like this lip combo. I'm going to use the setting spray. This is the Morphe Luminous setting spray. Since we used a matte foundation and matte eyeshadows, I'm going to top it off with a luminous setting spray just to kind of bring a little bit of glow to this look. And this smells so good, and it's such a fine mist. Kayla's gorgeous. Thank you so much. Um, I'm choking. I'm dying. Okay, I think that's it, everyone. I really do. Oh, Larissa said, "Do you blot your lips?" I don't usually blot my lips because this is not a very creamy lipstick. It's a little bit more on the matte side, so I don't really need to blot. It doesn't transfer very much, but you can if you want to make sure that your lipstick is not getting on your teeth and everything. You can definitely blot like with a tissue or something like that, but with a matte lipstick, you don't really need to. Andrea said, love this look, so gorgeous, thank you. Guys, I think we are done with this look. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. I really love answering your questions, and I'm so glad that you guys have been enjoying these. We're definitely going to take your suggestions and set something up. We can do some skincare. We'd love to do your suggestion for talking about undertone. Susan said, gorgeous, thank you, great tips. Thank you so much, Susan. Larissa said, great job. Thanks, Larissa. Yeah, I really encourage you guys to please go to boutique.nyc. It is right here. You can see boutique.nyc, and you can shop a bunch of these products that I used today, plus a lot more. You can check it out in our virtual store. But yeah, thank you guys so much. As always, you can continue leaving comments if you have more suggestions or questions. Please follow us on Instagram. It's at BeautyQlass. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Alex said, great live, girl. Undertones is a great topic. Yes, thank you so much. I'm really glad you all enjoyed, and I will see you next week. I think next week is going to be on Wednesday and not Tuesday, but subscribe to our events calendar to make sure that you don't miss it. Follow us on Facebook. Follow all the things so that you can stay tuned. I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next week. Yeah, I will see you all next week. Thank you guys. Bye.